Hello all you wonderful people at Translators Without Borders. I'd like to thank you for the tremendous and gigantic work you do, and I'd like to tell you about the positive consequences of what you do, because I don't think you all realize how wonderful what you do is. I'm a child psychologist, and I've been that for 30 years, and I work with orphans and children without parents, street children, adopt children, and so on. Some years ago I had this idea that I wanted to make a free online education for the caregivers of orphans, because most caregivers have no support from their government, they have little access to education, they are isolated, and they organize their work in ways that do in fact harm children who are in public custody. So, I decided to make fairstart.globalcom, which is a free online offer to any organization that may be an NGO organization, it may be a government, maybe anywhere, to have this free 15-session education which you are kind enough to translate for me. So you use it online, you pay nothing for it, it doesn't increase the cost, but what it does is that it increases the lives of the children and it turns the caregivers into professionals. They get a professional identity and they do much better work. So, all these languages you are making are in fact being used. Let me give you some examples. Right now I have been training people in the program. There's, for example, Andrei from St. Petersburg in Russia. He has an orphanage with 300 disabled children. It's an old-fashioned orphanage. It looks like something between a hospital and a prison. And the quality of the children's lives is extremely low. Now he has this program, and thanks to you, he doesn't have to spend a lot of time translating it into Russian. He's training his staff in making attachment-based care for children, in learning how to cooperate and throw out the iron beds, put the children in nice settings, forming groups where children can relate to each other, and teaching his staff how to attach to children, how to look at themselves as parents. So what the Russian version of the program is doing right now in St. Petersburg is that it is changing the life of 300 children. Okay? Let me give you another story. I got in contact with a guy in Indonesia who runs a charity organization to help Indonesian orphans. In Indonesia they have 8,000 orphanages, so it's 40,000 people. Usually it's 5 caregivers to 150 children in orphanages spread out all over Indonesia. But now he's training Fair Start. I've been training trainers there, and this program is now spreading to all these orphanages. A third example. I got a mail from a guy called Ian Forber-Pratt. He comes from Rajasthan in India, which is an extremely poor province where people die from hunger and a lot of children are abandoned. He himself was adopted to Washington. He grew up there, he made a degree in social sciences at Washington University, and then he decided to go back and start foster family training in Rajasthan. So what he wrote in his letter was, it would surely be wonderful if we could someday translate your program into Hindi. And I was happy enough to say to him, we're already on our way, because Translators Without Borders are in fact right now translating this into Hindi. And he is only one of those who speak Hindi. If you can imagine the millions of orphans in India, you know, there are 143 million orphans all over the world. The fact that we are having this program, free, online, non-profit in India, means that caregivers all over India can use it in the future. I could tell you the same story about Bulgaria, where you also translated the program. They're in the middle of deinstitutionalizing and starting up foster family care for children who have been deprived in old-fashioned orphanages. And thus I could go on and on. So, this is what I want to thank you for, and I hope we can continue our cooperation in years to come, because this program is becoming, I think, the most widespread program in the world to educate caregivers of orphans, and you're making a fantastic difference in the life of children. In fact, they do grow faster and they laugh much more when this program is used. So thanks a lot to all the translators. Thank you to your organization.